cording is a great embellishment or creative technique that can be used or applied to the surface of fabric. This is actually the 3-groove cording foot, and it is an optional accessory for the Baby Lock Joy, but I think if you are somebody that likes embellishment or likes to create things that are very unique, it is a good investment. What you're going to look at in this foot is I already have my cording inserted into one of those slots. Now on the Baby Lock Joy, you have a 5mm width, so we have to stay with that center and that right slot on the 3-groove cording foot. To slide the cording in place, you'll notice that on the black bar there's a hump, and then on the bar that sits underneath there's a kind of a groove. We're going to slide or simply slide this thread, this decorative cording or decorative thread, right underneath that, and it will snap right into place. Then on the back side of the presser foot, you'll notice that there's kind of a curve here, and what that curve means is that I can do this in random curves, not really tight circles, but random curves. Then you'll also notice that there are 2 little, what I would call, raised notches, and what these raised notches do is keep that thread on the back side from floating or getting out of position. And when I'm actually threading this, I tie a fairly large knot at the end, and what this does is it prevents that thread from sliding down through the grooves on the front of the presser foot. We're going to attach our presser foot, and this is usually where those threads slide all over the place, is when you're attaching it, they tend to slide down. That's where that knot really does come in handy. And now we are actually going to look at our stitches. And there's several decorative stitches on the Baby Lock Joy that you can use. We can use C and D in the standard setting. You could, if you wanted to, use H and J. I don't know if those would be as attractive as C and D would. Then you also have, in the stretch stitches, you have C, which is the rickrack stitch, and then you have D, which is what I would consider a smocking or a honeycomb stitch. So we're going to use stitch number D. On our stitch selector dial, we're going to select that D, and then on our length we have to go to the stretch stitch setting. That tells me that I'm going to be doing that particular stitch, and then I want to take that stitch width to that 5 setting. Now I've prepped my fabric by placing a piece of stabilizer underneath. If you did want to place a piece of stabilizer underneath, I would fuse something to the back of this fabric or possibly starch it, but make sure that it's a heavy starch. And this is just a linen and cotton blend. We're going to place our fabric underneath our presser foot, lower our presser foot, and you can choose on your needle thread to either complement one of your decorative cords or your decorative threads, or you can choose it as a contrast. In this case, we have green, purple, and hot pink, so we're going to have a very fun pattern with our stitching. And now as I curve this, you can see how easily that curves, and my cording will also curve on the back side, and that's because, as I showed you, the curve on that back side of that presser foot allows those cords or those decorative threads to make that curve as I'm curving in front. So it's not straight or static, and that is one of the huge advantages of this cording foot. And now I'm going to come around this direction. I always put a little bit of tension on my cording, and I make sure that I keep it very straight so that it's going through those holes a little straighter, so that I don't, in a sense, get off my track. And we'll just keep curving just a little bit. I do take my time, especially when I'm doing decorative stitches. I find that I have better results. I also find that I have more control, and I think for me that's really what it is about. It's about control. With that control, I have better results or more professional results. So we're just going to curve one more time, and then let's take a look at our stunning decorative embellishments. I am so excited to see what this looks like. I think it's going to be absolutely stunning. Now, since I ended a little early, I'm just going to pull those decorative cords through that guide. We're going to go ahead and we're going to clip our thread. And wow, look at how stunning that is. And you can see how easy it was to do that curve, and those cords follow that curve for that decorative detail. So not only can I sew simply just a straight line, but I can make those curves with the optional cording foot all on the Baby Lock Joy.